same format. There are two computers basically that are programmed by the same person.
And they're both very close friends of Netanyahu.
We must find his real name, Netanyahu. That one is a fake name for Israel. He's got his real European name because he's not a Jew.
I didn't know that.
You heard me?
He shocked. I was
Google
so
it.
shocked.
What is Netanyahu's real name? He's a converted. They were converted. These Turkish and in the book, the 13th tribe by.
Greetings. Greetings and welcome back to the channel. For the first time you're coming across my channel, please remember to subscribe. I was sitting down here just watching this brother, Dr. Mupumba, just talking, in general. And he came across, he started talking about something that I find very interesting. And I thought, let me bring it to you. So please, let us sit down and watch together. Thank you.
And I'm not saying there are no problems on the ground. There are problems on the ground, but they must be dealt with as problems. To sugarcoat them and exaggerate them, I think that was quite irresponsible.
Is Elon Musk ill-informed or is he intentional? Because he's got a bigger agenda.
There are two ways of looking at it. One way could just be pure ignorance. Pure ignorance is rightfully put. Donald Trump, I don't like him, but I think he represents something.
Oh.
Donald Trump will be successful in America based on one factor, that he represents the deep white capitalists, the deep white separatists, what they say to each other when we are not there.
Yeah, what they say.
He represents, and same thing to Afrikaners here. It's one thing to say, 100 million.
He's actually right. I believe so too. I believe what he's saying out loud is what they normally say in private and what they normally do. The only difference with him and those that was before is they say it in a private room, but he's saying it out loud. So I'm agreeing.
I'm not putting everyone in one blanket, but there's a group of Afrikaners in the White Forum, in the Afri Forum, in some of those in the Orania mindset.
He placed it because it's coming up. What I wasn't expecting is actually coming. So
when they are by themselves, away from us, and you hear what they say in the privacy of their own homes, they represent what AfriForum is doing. And those are the funders of AfriForum. And similarly, so in America, we may think that Donald Trump is halfway between there and there, but I think fundamentally he represents that. And when he is ill-advised, Elon Musk and Trump become cousins because their orientation, their worldview, their perception of the black problem, black poverty, and black suffering. They were educated by the same teacher of separatists, colonialism, and apartheid. So they are friends, fundamentally. Even if they don't meet eye to eye, but after they've finished quarreling, they are taught and educated in the very same format. There are two computers, basically, that are programmed by the same person.
And they're both very close friends of Netanyahu.
And we must find his real name, Netanyahu. That one is a fake name for Israel. He's got his real European name because he's not a Jew.
This one I didn't know. You can see all the brother is shocked.
You heard me? Google it up.
Yeah, go ahead.
What is Netanyahu's real name?
I will also check it after this and see if I can put it.
He's a converted. They were converted. He's Turkish and in the book, the 13th tribe by Ford, you actually find some of this information readily available.
Yeah, I think I know that book. Yeah, I know that book. Yeah.
Common
Right.
practice for Zionist immigrants at the
Okay.
time to adopt a Hebrew name. Nathan Mileikovsky began signing some of the articles he wrote. Netanyahu, the Hebrew version of his name, and his son adopted this and his family name. So his real name is Nathan Mileikovsky. I didn't know this. Okay.
I didn't know neither.
Part of learning and growing.
So his real name is Nathan, not Benjamin.
No.
His real name is Mileiskovsky, not Netanyahu.
Mm-hmm.
Why would they change their name though?
To adapt to the Hebrew Jewish narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody posted a video of, I think it was in 17 or 1800s, of an old movie of people that lived in Jerusalem at the time. And most of them were black people.
You can Google again the Egyptian prime minister who says he's not going to accept Jerusalem as it is right now. Because when the blacks left, when the Israelis left here, they were black. Now they came back white. So he's not going to recognize that.
So what do you want me to Google?
You can Google the Egyptian president who refused to accept the white Jews. You know, they left here as black. Now they're coming back as white. So when did they become? When did the Jews become white? But the fertile Christians sit on the Platonic stone of Africa, literally. It's impossible that white people can come out of Israel.
So.
But of course, to fit with the United Nations the narrative of reclaiming the 1940, 46, 47 treaties of giving Israelis back their land. Then you find these white people, these converted Ashkenazis, who converted into Judaism, claiming to be Hebrews and Jews.
Why would they do that though?
It's a religious benefit. It's a religious benefit. Again, it plays into the white supremacy narrative that they are the chosen people. And because they are chosen people, it resuscitates and sanitizes all white people. It's critical that the Jews must be white, theologically. Because once the Jews are white and they're at the door of the Bible, then anyone who reads this text must read it through the interpretation and the culture of those that are claimed to be Jews. So once the Jews are white, do you have a problem with the white Jesus? Why would you have a problem? It's a rewriting, it's a stealing of black history. Blatant. One of the biggest lies ever told on the face of the earth is that Jews are white. One of the biggest lies ever told historically, academically, ethnographically. Go back and purge through your history books. Find me a white man who was taken as a slave in Israel, from Israel to Egypt, to work to build the pyramid. White people, slaves in Egypt. And Moses came to redeem white people.
In 1958, President Nasser of Egypt said of the Jews, they left here black and came back white. What did he really mean though? They say he meant the truth. Millions of modern Jews are either converts or light-skinned mixed race people who don't fit the description of the earliest inhabitants of Israel.
It is two ways. He said that he is saying that when they left Egypt, they left here as blacks. But now he's being told to recognize them in Israel and they're all white. So how did the transformation happen? That a black nation ended up as a white nation. But this is theological bigotry and mischief, where academic institutions of theology have allowed to whitewash the Bible and whitewash the theology to fit into the colonial narrative.
The ancient Middle East was first settled by Hamitic people, including the Kushites. The legendary ruler, Kushite king Nimrod, the Ethiopian, is immortalized in geographic and place names like Nimrod Fortress, Nimrod Fortress Castle in Israel.
The Hyksos. There was actually a period of the whitening. You can even research on that also. The whitening of Egypt, where the whitening of Egypt.
The
Whitening.
whitening.
Whitening of Egypt, where actually the Hyksos were defeated, and the light in complexion Arabs started taking all the black Hyksos as slaves and pushed them out of royalty, and now started having them white. Now, when you walk around Egypt, it looks like it's a white country, when actually there was a process of the whitening of Egypt and the extermination of the black Hyksos, and hence the removal of the nose of all the statues to not show that the history that was here was of the flat-nosed people rather than the sharp-nosed people who are now claiming history as theirs.
The whitening of Egypt is a controversial idea that has been used to claim that ancient Egypt was a white civilization.
Yes, sir.
However, mainstream Western scholars reject the idea. The idea that ancient Egypt was white or black is considered anachronistic by Western scholars. They argue that applying modern racial concepts to ancient Egypt is incorrect. Scholars also reject the idea that ancient Egypt was racially homogeneous. Instead, they believe that skin color varied between people from Lower Egypt, Upper Egypt, and Nubia. The controversy over the racial identity of Egypt has continued into the modern era.
And why again, let's put these two arguments back to back.
Yeah.
Number one is a religious argument, which gives you the white people as Jews. Number two, you have an academic argument, which is now trying to exterminate the black history and make it white.
Yeah.
So see what's happening here. Academically, by claiming the history of Egypt as white history, you have been able to remove black people away from innovation, from academics, from history, as the originators and the most ancient civilization on the face of the earth. You claim that history, make Cleopatra white woman, make the pharaohs white people, make Moses taking the Israelites out of Egypt, make them white. That whole movie, rubbish, scandalous narratives. So by taking away our history and by sitting at the door of religion, you are able to brainwash people that they're inferior to you because their civilization, without them, there's no civilization. Without them, there's no salvation.
Is it what happened in history and how black and white came in? This is a modern concept. In ancient times, there was no such thing as black this and white that, because the people who is settling in the geographical location.
White people become the gatekeepers of your economy, your history, and your religious expression. It can't be more blatant than that. A person who steals your car is much better smooth than a person who steals your identity.
Let me give you an example. When the man they call, the mistakenly called Jesus, when the king wanted to kill him when he was a youth, and his parents took him into Egypt, he became what you call it, disappeared in the environment because he was also identical in complexion to those people that was there. So the ancient Egyptian we know was skin colored like mine, and also black people have dark skin color. It wasn't what we call the palm colored people. So when you check that and go back, you can find the truth if you really look.
At a moment of your unconsciousness, I come and I change your name. When you wake up, I give you a wrong name. And you can never trace again who you are.
Never.
That's cruel. That's cruel that you walk past your mother's house and you not recognize it. Because I took advantage when you were not conscious. That I made.
And this is what he's saying is so profound, in my opinion, because this is the thing that happened to us. Us as people that was taken across the sea and given a new name and a new identity, and completely forget who we are. We probably went home and didn't know that was home. Let him
Eat your own brothers.
at the top.
That's cool. Because I'm withholding information from you to tell you that this is your blood brother. Now, stealing identity cannot be more gruesome than that.
But it is written.
Still on that conversation, why is there what they call the Black Madonna all over Europe? What is the Black Madonna?
The history of worshipping mother and child has its origins within the Egyptian space, where birth even of the Messiah itself, Mary, has still been preserved as a black woman. So the Mary Madonna is black, literally. In Russia the other day, is it a year ago, when Russia actually released all those pictures, most ancient pictures of the drawings of Jesus and his disciples, and they're all black. And the whole world caught a fit of rage. And how could you be releasing such pictures?
Yeah.
But if these are the oldest pictures of the drawings of Jesus that are all in black, then where did the white ones come from? So is there some historicity, accuracy in those paintings that are depicting a different painting altogether to a religious bigotry on the other side? Answer is yes. So the oldest pictures of something could be the most likely, the closest representation of what you're trying to talk about. So yes, Madonna is black. These are the Madonnas that we're seeing around, the Marys that we're seeing that are white. It's just whitewashed the religious expressions. But if you're supposed to look at it from the historical perspective, then the black color becomes much more mature. And I was laughing this morning actually, a research that has just come out from China, and I'm glad it's coming out from China, a slightly neutral corner, where the zebra, black and white fish, and the non-striped fish are seen together, and this is what guys doing a research to see how do this fish lose its skin and the mutations and what. And actually the research concluded that the striped fish, the zebra striped fish, are the more original than. Then they studied the mutation and to come up with a conclusion actually that says, if we could crack it on the fish, now we know finally how the white people became white by mutation. But it's a whole fresh research. I was just reading it this morning. But finally, before I die, we are going to make one big announcement to all white people out there that you are our children.
Yeah.
Not only our children, the Kenyan woman gene, which is 200 and what million years old, the Eve gene, right? The mutation of that gene is found in all races. So she remains the mother. All of us. So stop talking nonsense. And I don't know why people want to celebrate the whiteness of the Bible instead of celebrating the originality of the text, which is black, which is African.
Yeah.
And this is maybe what turned me off away from the Bible, because it looks like they're more interested in the white culture rather than they're interested in the historicity of the text itself. Scholars, educated scholars, don't want to look at this subject with no emotions, with no whitewashed minds, but just to study it as a subject and present truth as is. No, would rather be preaching the gospel of the missionaries that constantly seeks to make black people less of who they really are, which is unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
I've also seen videos of it's not the current pope, may he get well, because I know he's fighting for his life, but previous popes, and those are old videos. How do you explain them having to kneel down to African leaders who would visit Rome? They would kneel down and kiss their feet. What does that mean?
They know what we don't know. They know what we don't know. Rome is built on stolen history. Rome is built on guilt. Rome was collecting taxes, slaves, tithe, and from Africans. They are guilty of their crimes. And unknown to the African leaders, they accept the homage of apology, which comes with no restitution and payment of the crimes that were committed. So they are conducting a religious act of humbling themselves to those that they've injured. without the Egypt knowing why they're doing it. So Bashir and other guys just look at their big heads from Sudan and they watch these guys kissing their feet and they think that they're most important than all. But it's an act of religious expression that we wrong these people and we must be humbling ourselves before them. So I think within that space, the Caribbean space is beginning to discuss altogether the issue of restitution, reparations for the slave trade. Because for the slave trade to happen, it is the Catholic Church that actually wrote the letters approving their church members to go and conquer new wealth and even name those societies as they would bring back tithe and offerings to Rome. So basically, Rome was built on South African ivory, and gold, and Zimbabwean gold, and ivory, Caribbean, etc. So the entire colonization paid tribute and homage into the Catholic Church. And when the Catholic bishops kneel down, I think it is a fake example of piety. In essence, they must own up to the responsibility of their plunder.
And pay up too.
But if they look like they're paying homage, why would they be so strict in not returning our original African artifacts, and including even after the Queen had passed, our diamonds are still there in those museums?
Maybe it has not been discussed. Maybe not. Hence, we always, in the Pan-African space, advocate for an informed politician, an informed African youth, who then applies their minds to the real issues that are at stake, so that we can begin to have a conversation at a level at which we would want. Here we are, for example, in South Africa, Sarah Batman, for example, and the atrocities that happened here. We're looking at the Cullinan diamond that is there. Maybe only now, smoothly, and you can understand why our president, after we left, we must go to Britain and boycott and shake hands. Maybe I don't know what they got there to do. But maybe if they did not go there, they would have a different narrative. But maybe they go there to be told, well, don't touch Kruger National Park.
Yeah.
Don't touch this. Don't touch this. The Queen has got land there. This and this. And Victoria Falls, please don't change. It's named after Queen Victoria. It is a great commemoration. We'll pay you so much money to maintain this and that. I don't know what happens. I've never been there. But it looks like every time one of us goes there, they come back and they're just wishy-washy about the critical issues that we need transformation on. It could be the reason that the shaking of the Queen's hand and the King's hand has to do with protecting the legacies of colonization. And so also does the shaking of the Pope's hand has to do with pacifying what do you want? You want to speak of, okay, here's some few millions, whether those millions reach us or not. Another story. Amen. I laughed my lungs out when Trump said, and 6.8 million for Lesotho, gay lesbian sponsorships. And no one knows what Lesotho is. No one knows. And the Lesotho government then interrogated and says, hey, we heard you say you said 6.8 million. We never saw it. Where is it? So, someone between Trump and the ex-prime minister and the NGOs, they must explain because this is black, dirty money which was supposed to be used for certain things. But apparently it never reached the sources. And you begin to have a certain appreciation that international politics has its ways around African politics and manipulate it for the direction in which they want to drive.
And as some South Africans say, Gucci, as much as the saying that US,
the same there's a budget also that came South Africa.
Yeah.
Who took it?
Apparently, they say that money, as much as it was cut off, millions of people suffering with HIV will get affected, etc. But they're saying big chunks of that money was not reaching the people on the ground.
Who was eating that money? Maybe we must do. Maybe this is the real Zondo Commission.
I know.
We need Zondo now to come out from the closet and come and tell us what this 8-something million, which we hear from America now that some money was sent here for these activities. Who were the recipients of these money? But I thought that was quite low for USAID to literally sponsor social collapse in other countries in the name of aid. I thought that was quite low.
Very low. So, in conclusion, because he's talking about many different topics, and I wanted to keep this simple on a particular topic. If you really want to watch the whole program, I think, yeah, that's the name of the program there. And it's like a couple of hours ago, maybe almost a full 24 hours. You can go to the channel and watch the program. I also try to put it in the description box so you can watch the whole discussion. But anyway, thank you for watching. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. As I said before, this channel is to shine light into the dark so that those cockroaches that is hiding can start scattering. And this is the part of the process. Have a good day.
They've been put, scattered, Deuteronomy 28:68, whatever it is, Genesis chapter 15, 13, and 14. They will spend 400 years in a sojourn in a foreign land that is not theirs, and they will come out with great riches and great substance, and the people who enslaved them, only God Almighty, I will judge them. And so I said, that is
This subject is a sensitive subject, so you have to tread carefully because sometimes some people say them are Jew, but them know why you talk who is the real Jew or what is a Jew. And when you use the word Jew, what you mean by that? No, before them say anti-Semitic, let me say this, that how can a Semite be anti-Semitic? Therefore, I'm identified myself as a Semite. Right.
Okay.
No, a Jew is somebody who come from Judah, or the tribe of Judah,
Yeah.
or Israel, where the geographical location was split into two kingdoms. You have the other tribe over on that side, and you got the Judah and Benjamites on this side. So those are the people who are related to Judah.
Yeah.
Now the present day Jews, and may I say it again, they don't want you to say these things, but it's the fact. The present day Jews, according to my research, came from a kingdom called the Kingdom of Khazaria. You don't hear that name anymore because that country don't exist anymore. But it's a place near Russia, or was near Russia.
Okay.
This is where they came from. And now they scatter across all of you. When the Catholic was coming in, and also what they call Muslim, when Islam rise, they didn't want to join none of the two. So therefore they convert to Judaism. But Judaism as it is now is not what it is then, because our Judaism or Hebrew religion or culture is related to the Torah. The Jews today practice something called Talmudic Judaism, which is something completely different. I'm saying it's factual thing. You can go and check it. It's not me saying it. It is there. Yes, sir. Man as my lad. You can check maybe about 2 or 3 books can show you where it say and who write it. Because it's a Jew saying this. And this is a brother called, the name of the book is called The 13th Tribe. I forget the name of the author. I think it's Arthur Kessel or something near to that. But you can check that book and he described the whole process of how the conversion happened. So these are people who not related but converted. I is the one that related. Because if you check Deuteronomy 28, it tells you who was going to go where and what is going to happen to them. And this type of prophecy do not relate to the present day people. According to the thing, people are not subscribed. Please subscribe. And the subscription